In Manchester, a flight has just landed from Jamaica. Sniffer dog Roddy is in operation on the hunt for any traces of cocaine. Roddy gives a clear indication on this passenger, and officers Liz and Kev step in to investigate.
You got a passport and ticket? What's that? Do you have a passport and ticket?
Yeah, travelling together, yeah? Yeah. You want to come over here? I'll have a quick chat with you then.
With over 1,000 cocaine seizures a year, border officers know that cocaine smugglers come in all shapes and sizes.
How long you been away for?
A week.
You been before? No? What do you think of it?
It's nice.
Is this the same bag you took out with you?
Yep.
Okay.
The officers take the passports and swab for signs of drug use.
Just got traces, quite high traces of cocaine off a gentleman's passport, so I'll ask him if he's had any contact with drugs, if he's used at all, and take it from there. Just want to quick swab of your passport, see if there's any traces of drugs on it. And there is traces of drugs. Have you ever used anything?
No.
Ever smoked weed or ever used anything stronger than that?
Not smoke, no.
No? Never had any sort of contact with drugs ever?
Well, not that, no.
Right, OK.
The man clearly states he's had no contact with drugs, but officers know from experience not to believe everything they're told.
Yeah, I just found a very small trace of cocaine. I've been swabbing around in his jeans pockets and things like that, so it's only a small one, but it's still a trace.
Liz's job now is to work out if he's a user or a smuggler.
You sure you've never ever used or been in contact with cocaine?
Nope.
Okay. I mean, if you have, tell me now, because it's a lot easier. No? Okay. Just found a very small trace. You see I've been swabbing your clothes and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's come from your clothes, so...
With a bit more pressure, Kev's suspect begins to contradict himself.
Have you ever used drugs any time, even if it was a long time ago?
Yeah, I've used it before, yeah.
What have you used and how long ago?
Well, I don't want to discuss that because it's personal, you know what I mean?
Well, it's relevant to...
It's not relevant because I haven't got no drugs on me, so I don't
Well,
answer that question.
I don't know that. All I can go off is
Well, you
the
can say
traces
you won't find no drugs.
that I'm getting.
Liz then swabs her passenger's suitcase, and the hit for cocaine is almost off the scale. The officers are now convinced the two suspects are carrying drugs.
That is out the bottom of your suitcase.
It's like that.
I mean, that's about as high as it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah? So you're telling me you've never ever been in contact with
No.
cocaine?
Well, I've seen it. I've never had a lighter or nothing like that in my life.
No?
No.
I've done inside your bag. I've got, well, I'll show you. Cocaine high. It's a really, really high reading for cocaine from inside your bag.
Yeah.
Now, if you use it every now and then, I'm not bothered. I just need to know.
I didn't use it, that's what I'm trying to say to
Right.
you.
But the officers need answers, or the search will need to go deeper.
At the end of the day, I need to know where the traces are coming from. If it's definitely not from you using,
Yeah.
I've got to think you might have something concealed on you or in you
You can search me
somewhere.
as much as you want, mate. I ain't got, that's what I told you. You can search, do whatever searches you want to do.
All
Not to hide.
Okay.
I didn't, if I had something to hide, I wouldn't have said that I'd made that with him and I walked straight off and I said
Yeah,
no.
fair enough. It's a fair comment. Yeah. All right.
But some background checks reveal that Kev's passenger has a criminal record for dealing heroin.
Stuff on CRO, supply heroin in 03, there is theft, kindred drugs going back 5 to 6 years.
The officers now have proof that at least one of them is lying. At Gatwick Airport, a courier shipment has just arrived at the freight terminal. It's up to the border officers to ensure that any hidden drugs don't make it onto the streets. Drugs dog Megan has been brought in to speed up the search.
We're just about to search some cargo from South America, some DHL mail, from places like Colombia, Venezuela, things like that. So we're just waiting till they get all the stuff off the pallet, and then we'll let it go.
The sniffer dog's nose is 10 times as powerful as a human. But today, it's Officer Andres who spots a suspicious smell.
When I opened the box, there appeared to be a slight chemical odour coming from the box. Appears to be very heavy, this bag. There's all these unusual large buttons on them.
Highly suspicious, Andres calls in the expert.
Steve, do you want to just let the dog have a sniff of
Yeah,
this?
sure.
We're not trained to sniff it. It wouldn't be very good health and safety-wise.
Sniffing out smugglers is a job best left to the dogs, and Megan's indication on the buttons couldn't be any clearer.
Is that a good indication?
Yeah, that'll do.
But there's only one way to find out for certain.
Just make an incision, just see if there is anything in these buttons. We have seen it in buttons, yeah. They tend to put drugs in large buttons like these. Yeah, there appears to be a white powder inside there. I'll do a test on that just to make sure it is. Appears to have gone blue, indicating the presence of cocaine.
It's another hit for the freight team. With 3 bags all covered in huge buttons full of cocaine, it's a seizure worth tens of thousands of pounds.
This particular package is going to a private individual in Spain, so we'll inform the Spanish authorities, and then they'll make a decision as to whether they want to do a controlled delivery on the premises or get a warrant to search the premises, take it from there, really.
Nice job. Cheers, mate.
In Manchester, officers are still trying to find out why 2 passengers have triggered massively high readings for cocaine.
It's not something we're going to use. We're not going to go and tell the police this person's admitted doing this, that or the other. I just need to know why there's traces there. That's the only reason I keep asking you. I know you're probably getting fed up with it now, I keep asking the same questions, but I just need to know why there's traces there. That's cool, that's my job. I've got to, if I let you walk out of here with all these traces of coke and no explanation, my boss is going to say to me, well, you know, why have you done that? So that's the only reason I keep asking you.
Kev's suspect has admitted previous convictions for heroin dealing, but both suspects are adamant they've had no recent contact with cocaine.
I'm getting really high traces off the case, higher than I've had off anything else, you know what I mean? I don't know why, you know, like off the bottom, that's like from underneath the lining. But I've x-rayed it, there's nothing.
My guy's been done for dealing Class A, hasn't he, in the past? They probably used, might have been out there organising something.
Liz re-x-rays her passenger's suitcase for any hidden concealments.
How long have you had it, mate? Yeah. Just getting really, really massive hits. That's where I've had the biggest hits for cocaine, and there's nothing there. It doesn't weigh anything, so.
I've just swapped these debit cards and it's completely off scale, absolutely right to the top for coke.
The officers are getting frustrated with the evasive answers.
When was the last time you used coke?
Months ago, I can't remember.
Right. Okay.
Kev's passenger has admitted using cocaine, but it's Liz's suspect who still says he's never touched drugs, despite all the evidence against him.
Yeah, because the dog indicated on you, I mean, that's the reason we stopped you. Want to be sure you've got nothing on you. We found traces of cocaine all over your baggage. You've denied use or contact with cocaine. You travel frequently. The trip was booked by somebody else. It's just one of our indicators. So the lads are just going to take you into a private room now and search you. All right.
Running out of possible causes, Liz examines his footwear. If he's a swallower, traces of drugs would seep into the shoe. But hits off the laces would suggest he's recently handled drugs while using.
And that's off his laces. You seen that off the laces? See, I've got a problem because there's really, really massive traces off your laces. There's nothing off, there's like a little trace, sort of like inside your shoes. Yeah. But off your laces, it's just like, it's almost all the bars again. It's like, there's been loads of cocaine in contact. I mean, well, inside, but like I say, off your laces, I've never seen anything so high off laces. Obviously, the concern is you might have something internally. If we were
scanner if you want.
You'd be all right with that, would you?
Yeah, I don't take note, and I haven't brought note, but
okay.
Jamaica a bit stupid, this thing to bring somewhere.
Well, people do, yeah.
I know, but.
So what about a urine test? If we did a urine test, what would that show us?
What, my intestines?
A urine test, you know, like a pee test.
Oh, my pee test?
Yeah.
A bit of cannabis?
Bit of cannabis, but...
cannabis, yeah.
Yeah, it does show cannabis, yeah, but no cocaine.
No.
A baffled Liz has investigated the massive cocaine hits as far as she can. With no hard evidence, the men are free to go.
I'm not being funny, but you don't find one, what can you do?
All right. Go home and burn all your stuff and...
Yeah, we've just been totally searched and they're saying I've got traces of cocaine in my laces in my shoes. But I don't have a clue where that could have come from. Cheers.
Thanks, Jet. See ya.
It's happened about 5 times before, so it's nothing new. But to find traces of cocaine in our shoelaces, that's a new one. But I don't know where the hell it could have come from.
At Manchester Airport, a flight has just arrived from Pakistan. Border Officer Richard is x-raying bags on the lookout for excessive quantities of cigarettes.
Looking at the screens, if you can see any cigarettes on these monitors here. There's quite a few in the bag, it'll look fairly obvious. On a flight like this, we expect to pull off anywhere from none to 20 bags full of cigarettes or partly full of cigarettes.
Passengers have a maximum of 200 cigarettes, and border officers like Az know to take nothing at face value.
There isn't any particular bag that will be specific to a type of smuggling. It's any type of bag is suspicious. We look at all types of bags, whether they could be more firm than others, then again they could be also quite soft. So it really doesn't matter on the type of bag.
OK, we've got one here which is more or less full of cigarettes.
And for people hoping to smuggle tobacco, the X-ray means there's nowhere to hide.
1, 2, 3, 4. There's at least 800 in that block there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another 800 there. There's more lined up that way. There's more there. And this is similar, not as obvious, but there's looks like cigarettes there as well.
The bags go back on the belt as Az heads upstairs to see who will claim the suitcases.
Hi there, sir. Are you travelling alone?
Yeah.
Just a quick X-ray of your bags, please. Where are you travelling from? X-ray your bags this way, please.
Az starts with some simple questions.
These all your bags?
Yeah.
All right. Have you ever been stopped by customs before? Have you ever been stopped by customs before? All right. The way to do it is by answering the questions, all right? OK. Well, you're going to have to answer them. Go around and bring your bags over to the bench, please.
Officers often face angry passengers, and the man seems annoyed at being stopped.
Excuse me? Well, if you grab the suitcase, then come over to the bench, all right?
The man's already angry, but things are only going to get worse when he finds out Az will be seizing all his cigarettes. In Dover, officers have stopped 2 Bulgarian lorries. Each driver is allowed only 200 cigarettes, but a quick search found over 1,000 in one of the cabs. Suspecting they're hiding more, both lorries will now be searched.
This one over here is the one that she's got the cigarettes. He's got his girlfriend with him. Because we're travelling together, same company, we're going to do this one as well. Because this driver here, he declared no cigarettes either, just some cigars. How good is your English?
This man lied about not having any cigarettes. The other lorry driver is adamant he doesn't have any.
Chef, how many is in here?
In here?
Cigarettes, how many?
No cigarettes.
Sure?
No cigarettes. I'm promise. No cigarettes.
But when you know where to look, the driver's lie is easily exposed.
What have we got here then? Big Jake?
It's got 14 cartons.
14? Yeah. Same place? Oh no. Oh, that's the result then.
Stuffed into the cab lining are over 3,000 cigarettes. With massive profits to be made, drivers use every available space to hide cigarettes.
He's already lied once. He said he had no cigarettes at all. You see, we found 15 cartons of, each carton's got 200, so that's 3,000 in total. You know, he's lied once, so we'll continue our search of the cab unit to see if there's any more cigarettes in there.
But some of this man's efforts to hide his cigarettes are laughable.
Have you got any more in here yet?
I'm on the front, I took all ones at the front.
Yeah.
Lifted up the bunk and it's got the rubbish still, proper rubbish.
Is it?
It's just like little green plastic over it, something like that.
So there is more fags in there? Brilliant.
The officers suspect he's used the hidey hole before.
Oh dear.
Basically, all the food across the top, just that green plastic on top. Take that off, just green plastic and cigarettes underneath. Very simple. Not very complicated. He's just delighted that he doesn't get stopped. And that's why he's got through.
With both lorry drivers having lied about not carrying any cigarettes, officers will be imposing a strict punishment.
But because he's used the unit to smuggle the cigarettes in, and as a punishment, he'll lose the cab unit. The only way he can get the cab unit back is he'll have to incur a fine. And how we come to the figure of the fine is we work out how many cigarettes he's got, add them all up, and then we work out the duty on these cigarettes, what the duty would be equivalent in the UK.
For the drivers, it's an expensive lesson. And it doesn't go down well. Back in Manchester, Officer Az is also dealing with strong language from his feisty passenger.
Do you have any photo ID travel documents? Yeah, I do. Can I see them, please? Can I see them? How long were you away for?
2 months.
All right. What was the purpose of your visit?
Family,
I'm sorry?
family business, isn't it?
Okay. I'm going to look inside your bags. Did you pack everything yourself?
Yeah, no, my uncle's.
Do you know what's inside the bags?
Clothes, isn't it?
All right. Has your uncle's packed it?
Yeah.
All right. Do you understand you can't bring any controlled drugs, indecent, obscene material, firearms into the country?
Yeah.
Do you know what your allowance for cigarettes are?
Huh?
Do you know what your allowance for cigarettes are?
Well, just do your job, mate.
Do you know what your allowance are?
Go on.
Have you got any cigarettes in here?
Yeah, I've got cigarettes in there.
How many have you got?
Tuna.
A tonner?
Yeah, tuna.
What's it, 20?
Yeah.
All right. Your allowance is only 200, okay? So you've got 20 sleeves. It's too many, okay?
Oh.
Yeah.
Suddenly, the man's mood changes.
Do you work at the moment? Excuse me.
Yeah, tell him to me
Look,
why
look.
the camera on my face?
I'm going to do these bags,
yeah,
okay?
Tell the guy's a little
Right, well, there's no need to be like that.
Tell him to move then.
All right.
Move the camera over the stand.
Seeing this here?
With the passenger getting aggressive, Officer Gary steps in.
What do I do now?
Do you want to read it here?
Yeah, go on, read
You
it.
threaten or intimidate the staff,
Yeah.
you could be arrested.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you carry on like that and you find yourself in a
Yeah.
cell.
All right, mate, no
So
problem.
you keep your mouth shut and they go with this, okay?
He was quite obstructive. He's not, I wouldn't say he's an easy passenger. He was quite obstructive.
So how much are you allowed? 200 or 400?
200. But because you haven't declared them,
200.
you won't be... Yeah, that's right.
But the man won't be leaving with his allowance.
You go over 200, you lose everything.
Yeah.
Once you exceed your allowance, you lose the right to an allowance. So therefore, today you'll be going home with no cigarettes. Do you understand that? No, that won't be going back.
What?
I just explained.
Allowed 200 or that's 200.
I just explained it to you.
200.
Once you exceed your allowance, you lose the right.
Everything.
If you let me finish. you
What
lose-
wage just for
The man has exceeded his allowance by 5,000 cigarettes. He's not best pleased he'll be leaving with none.
Yeah,
25
sleeves.
26.
26 sleeves.
26 sleeves.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, now, what I'm going to do, okay,
What you're going to do is what you're going to do.
I'm going to get some paperwork sorted out for you and get you going, all right?
Keep happy, mate. Be happy and that.
All right.
Az tries to educate the passenger so he doesn't make the same mistake again.
This is a receipt to say I've seized
Yeah.
5,200 cigarettes, yeah? I'm also giving you a warning letter. Remember about bringing in large amounts of cigarettes. Here's a copy for your records. This is, hang on, I haven't finished yet, your copy yet. Bit premature there. That's for you, the original. Here, listen.
Come on.
You keep going away.
What do I need that for?
This is information about what you bring in, and there's a right to appeal as well. If you wait 2 minutes, you can get that as well.
The man is eager to leave,
Thanks for your time.
but if he doesn't want cigarettes seized from him again, he'll need to watch his step.
We get all kinds of people with all kinds of moods. Some people are quite happy and quite welcoming to a customs officer. Unfortunately, this wasn't one of them passengers, you know.
In Dover, the drivers who swore they had no cigarettes have been well and truly found out.
No cigarette.
And chef in here, no cigarettes?
No cigarette. I'm promise. I'm promise.
More fags.
In all, officers find more than 10,000 cigarettes in this devious driver's cabin.
This is the trouble. Sometimes it can be quite a long, convoluted process because you have got to literally check everywhere. You can't rely on the drivers necessarily to tell you the truth at any point, which is a shame. But obviously, if we did start believing people, we probably wouldn't find it. So.
Smuggling cigarettes is a serious crime, and both drivers must now pay the UK duty on the entire amount. If not, their lorries will be seized and they'll be walking home. The first driver is forced to pay nearly £1,000 on the spot.
One of the vehicles has been successfully restored for £985. The other driver can't afford to pay. He says he's going to pay tomorrow, so therefore it's seized, stays in our care until he's paid. Simple as that.
When it comes to cigarette smuggling, officers don't mess around. The man will leave with no cigarettes and no lorry. The cash-strapped driver asked for a lift whilst making a desperate call to the bank. After a cosy night together, he's vowed to return in the morning to pay off his £1,800 fine. The Bulgarian lorry driver did return the following day to pay off his fine. He was given his lorry back and a stern warning. In Gatwick's departure lounge, a passenger's been spotted buying tobacco with other people's boarding cards, and UK border officer Mike has been called in to investigate.
We've had a call from the duty-free shop that told us that someone has bought a large quantity of cigarettes and tobacco. So what people do is they get a couple of boarding cards or get someone else to buy the goods for them. Apparently they're sitting in the pub.
Anyone flying within the EU has a duty-free allowance of 200 cigarettes, but criminals steal boarding cards to non-EU countries like Turkey and illegally purchase thousands of cigarettes. It's known as carousel fraud.
Hey guys, how are you? I've just received information that you've bought quite large quantities of cigarettes. Would that be correct?
Yeah.
Whereabouts are you off to today?
Turkey.
Turkey. Can I have your boarding pass, please?
But the man realises the game is up.
I'm lying. I'm going to Malta. He got on board this way.
Right, okay. Have you got a boarding pass for Malta? Yeah. Can I have a look at that? Yeah. Sorry.
Are you all flying to Malta?
No, they are going to Turkey.
OK. Can I see all your passports, please?
They now need to work out who's to blame.
No, it's just, well, no, it's just my harassment. We got a place out there. I mean, it's... You can't buy them out there, no?
This is just a deal right there. It's to buy here. I mean, yeah, I know.
What we have been doing is they buy large quantities of cigarettes and then they evade controls by switching walking out domestic tours.
Oh, no.
And they're rebooking their flights. Yeah. So what we're going to need to do, we're definitely need to make sure that you get on your plane with your cigarettes and that you don't just walk out the airport.
If you just wait there a minute.
But Mike suspects the culprit may have to be arrested.
Just need to make sure I leave with it.
No, he should be nicked for that.
Why should he be nicked for it?
Because you're not allowed to buy them going within the EU, even if you're because he's taken them EU. We'll seize and report it, because they fraudulently use these. Hello, can I just run this past you, please? You know we've just been called up to duty-free lounge. Some geezer has got his mates who are flying to Bodrum to buy him 4,000 fags, and he's flying on to Malta. And he's admitted he knows he's done wrong, but they're so expensive out there. He's got to come down, really, isn't he? All three of them, or seize and report, but it's an absolute offence, isn't it? Because it's a fraudulent. I think he'll need to come down. OK, if you collect your bag.
The two passengers flying to Turkey will be allowed to leave, but the carousel fraudster isn't going anywhere.
What you've done so far is an absolute offence, which means at the moment, time is 13:25. I'm placing you under arrest on the suspicion of being involved in the fraudulent invasion of excise goods. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm the defence if you do not mention when questioned, something you may later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand that? OK, we're just going to go down to our customs suite now.
Am I going to make my flight today?
Not looking likely. What we're going to do, though, we're just going to take you downstairs.
OK.
We may seize the goods from you. We may need to ask you some more questions. At the moment, I can't say whether you will make your flight or not yet. All right, OK?
It may seem harsh for a few cigarettes, but the man has attempted to evade hundreds of pounds in tax. And if he's done it before, he may be going to jail. In Manchester, a flight from Paris has just arrived. Border officers have intercepted some suspicious baggage which started its journey in South America.
Cocaine one.
These are in the name of Lopez.
Border officers are always on the lookout for anything suspicious. And it's the names on these bags that rang alarm bells.
It's just the fact that they're two similar cases with two different names, which smugglers have been known to use a method which we call the switch bag. They'll have two bags, one with drugs in and one just clean bag, depending on whether they get stopped or not. Depends which one they pick up.
The bags go back on the carousel.
Yes, then.
While Martin keeps watch to see who picks them up.
This way.
The officers now need to try and communicate with the passengers to find the source of the coke hit.
These bags, they belong to you? Yeah? One moment. The Spanish? No, Chilean.
There may be a language barrier, but there's some words the son seems to understand.
Cocaine, heroin? No. No, cocaine, heroin? No. This is your bag. Okay.
The officers decide to swab the son's belongings first. The suspicions about cocaine were correct. But often coke hits can be caused by personal use. And working out the cause here will be easier said than done.
Quite high hits of cocaine off the inside of the gentleman's bag. Unfortunately, because they're non-English speakers, we can't really question to establish anything about misuse or anything. So whether he's a recreational user or not, we can't establish anything at the moment because he can't speak English.
In Gatwick, the flight to Malta is about to depart, but one passenger looks increasingly unlikely to be there in time.
What duty-free said is that he was going out, apparently, just asking to borrow people's boarding cards so that he could buy cigarettes.
He said, lend me your boarding card.
And they said, yeah, what, mate?
I'll get you a pint. And that's what
and that's why he was in there.
Well, that's how it works on the boats going.
Of course it does, of course it does. That's what he's done. He don't know him. No way.
The cigarettes will definitely be seized, but the officers are waiting to hear back from the investigation team to find out if the man is going to be charged.
His flight's due at 15:30 departure time. Gate closes at 15:10. Obviously, depending on how official we need to be about it, is whether or not he misses his flight. Obviously, he's committed an offence, so if he misses his flight, that's his own problem.
As the fags get bagged, the news comes in that the man won't want to hear.
Unfortunately, I spoke to the investigation team. They do want us to take you down and they'll question you down there, OK? So we'll be moving in a couple of minutes.
With the illegal cigarette trade robbing over £1 billion a year from the Treasury, the man's crime is being taken seriously.
Hello, boss. Would you mind doing us a favour? Would you be able to contact British Airways and just say that he won't be making his flight? But it's just so that they don't hold the gate open and keep calling his name if he's not going to make it. All right? All right, lovely stuff.
The man is in serious trouble with the law, and his travel plans are in ruins.
Now, would you like somebody informed that you have been arrested and that you are here?
The thing is, she's in Malta. They're going to be waiting for me that end.
Doesn't matter where in the world
I mean,
they
it's just I don't want to scare her. I mean, can I speak to her or not?
You can indeed, yes.
Hello, darling. Is Mummy there a minute? Huh? Is she asleep? All right then. It's just the flight. There's a problem with the flight. It's
ring-related.
Yeah, I'll phone her later. The flight's been delayed. Tell Natalie not to leave to the airport until I phone her. There's an engine problem or something. I don't know, but leave Mummy asleep. Don't wake her up. All right then. Bye.
The man is locked up until the investigation officers arrive. They later charged him with evasion of excise duty, and he's now awaiting sentence. Back in Manchester, there's more family problems. Officers are trying to communicate with the family from Chile, whose bags gave large hits for cocaine. Martin decides to play an unusual game of charades to work out if the son has used any drugs whilst abroad.
Papa, Mama? Yeah. Who's that? Yeah. One time. Soon? Days? Yeah. Who's that? Once? Yeah.
Under pressure, the son admits using cocaine.
3 weeks. 2 weeks ago. Okay. It's okay, yeah.
Out of earshot of his parents, the son clears up the source of the coke hit.
Mama, Papa.
And Martin promises to keep the confession under wraps. And knowing the son has used, speeds up the search.
Could be in trouble with his mummy and daddy, yeah? Maybe not with us, but mummy and daddy.
It also makes it easier to rule the family out as smugglers.
Because the gentlemen have been cooperative with us, the family have been cooperative, there is no need to involve his mother and father. The guy's an adult. I also find people more truthful if you take them to one side, out of the presence of their parents. If I'd have managed to, if I'd have been able to ask that question directly in front of his parents, I don't think he would have been as honest. I asked him the question, have you used cocaine? He said he had once. I asked him how long ago, he said 2 to 3 weeks. And that is borne out by the presence of the traces in the areas we found.
Thank you. Adios.
Adios.
Bye.
At Manchester Airport, a flight has just arrived from Pakistan. Officers are on the lookout for drug smugglers and have pulled over 2 men for a bag search.
Yeah, mate, just bring your bag down here for me.
Pakistan is a known source country for heroin, and officers conduct initial swab tests for any traces. There's been a recent surge of heroin seizures coming in from Pakistan. Surprisingly, Officer Gary gets a small hit for cocaine from his passenger's suitcase. Having got an initial trace, Gary swabs the man's clothes for any further hits.
He said he hasn't used for 3 months, but he's a regular user of cocaine, which will be here, which he uses the cocaine because it's not very accessible in Pakistan.
But this time, he gets an even bigger hit for heroin.
It's given heroin hits. I need an explanation basically from where they're coming from.
It could take a while to get to the bottom of this one. In Gatwick's South Terminal, UK border officers are targeting a flight to Jamaica looking for money connected to crime using sniffer dog Toby.
Just lower your bag for me. Just a quick customs check.
Toby's job is to find large amounts of cash. Anything more than 1,000, and handler Mark will want to investigate further.
Hiya. Are you carrying any money with you today? Yeah. How much you roughly have with you?
I got about 10,000 from the bank.
£10,000. Do you have 10,000?
It's a lot of cash leaving the country, and Paul will now want some answers.
The dog has detected some currency, and you've said you're carrying about £10,000. Is that all your money?
Paul wants to know what the money is for.
I was thinking of buying a car down there.
The car that you're going to buy? Yeah, do you know what you're going to buy?
It's a Honda.
A Honda.
Yeah.
And how much are you going to spend on it?
I think it's about 2,200.
And you've got 10 grand there, though?
Yeah, but
The man's explanation becomes confusing.
it's about 1.5. 1.5.
What are you going to do with the rest?
Leave the bag alone.
Rest of the money, that's 2,500. 2,500?
No, the car cost 1.45 million.
How much are you going to spend on the car?
This car I'm trying to get it right. I'm trying to get it right for 1.3, 1.4.
Say again, say slowly.
I'm going to try to get it for like 1.3, 1.4 million.
Right, which in sterling, in English money, how much are you going to pay?
That would be like about 9,000 or something.
9,000 for Honda. And how old would that be?
Huh?
How old would the car be?
It's about, I think it's at 2002.
And cars in Jamaica are very expensive to buy second-hand, aren't they? Yeah? So you're going to be prepared to spend like nearly £10,000 on a 2002 car?
Paul thinks the story sounds suspicious.
As a customs officer, I'm interested in, as I said, large amounts of currency that are leaving or entering the UK. You have a substantial amount of cash with you today. OK, that's the reason I'm taking so long with it.
As I said, I didn't know there was going to be so much problem. I didn't have to take it with me.
Do you have any details of the car that you might want to buy with you?
No, it's an under, yeah? So, I think it's an under car, yeah? It has spoiled and everything in it. I don't have no details in it.
You don't have any. Could you provide those sort of details? Can you provide details of the bank loan to me?
If I can provide details?
Yeah.
And the closest. Not now, this minute.
Not now, this minute.
The closest I could go to that.
Can I just see the money now I've searched the bags again?
Huh?
Can I just see the money again, please?
That's a different one.
How many's in here?
There is 5,000.
And the other one?
5,000.
Let's have a look. And the other?
2 bucks, sir.
How much have you got together? How much have you got altogether?
In these?
Yeah.
5.
10,000 altogether. OK, what I need to do is to hold on to your money. If you wait there, I've just got to do a couple of checks, OK?
If Paul thinks the cash has criminal connections, it will be seized, and the man's holiday could be over before it's begun.
They got 7 checks in bags, unfortunately, between them all. There's 3 of them travelling. The 10,000 belongs to the one person. It's from a consolidated loan. There's no documentation regarding the money, apart from the envelope it's in from a bank. It says it's going to cost me about £500 a month to pay it back. To buy a car in Jamaica.
Buy a car?
Yeah.
So they got family over there?
He's Jamaican. He's
Oh, he lives there, does
No, he lives here. He works
Why does he
here.
want to buy a car in
Because he's over there a lot.
With no evidence where the £10,000 came from, Toby may have helped find cash intended for drugs.
Have you done a P&C at all?
Paul wants to find out if the man has a criminal record, but with the flight now nearly ready to depart, time is running out.
How long before the gate closes?
Well, it's supposed to go at 5 past.
Right. OK, got a few minutes.
I don't know, yeah.
OK.
Back in Manchester, Officer Gary has found a high trace of heroin from a passenger's clothes who's travelled back from Pakistan.
OK, now that, you seen me swabbing the inside of his shoe, when you seen me swabbing the shoelaces. Right, obviously you've had them on your feet. How long have you had them?
About 8-9 months.
OK. Anybody else wear them?
No, just me.
OK. Well, I've just swabbed the inside of them. When you're wearing these, you're going to sweat through your feet and you're going to sweat through your paws and your hands, right? Now I'm getting heroin hits and cocaine hits. Quite a strong heroin hit from the soles of them shoes. You used to smoke heroin? OK. So while you've been in possession of them shoes, you've smoked heroin before and cocaine? OK. When was the last time you used heroin or cocaine?
About 2 or 3 months ago.
2 or 3 months ago.
I've been clean up now.
You clean up so now. Are you registered heroin addict at all, or you have been? Yeah. OK.
The man's honesty about personal use explains the hits. But officers have a duty to investigate his belongings further to ensure he's not smuggling drugs into the country.
Happy with that, I think.
But officers are convinced that he's not drug smuggling and he's free to go.
No one worried about anything. If I worried, obviously, I would be worried. I'd be sweating, you know what I mean? So I've got nothing to hide, so I'm all right.
In Gatwick, the flight to Jamaica is nearly fully boarded. But the passenger is still waiting to hear if he'll be allowed to leave with his £10,000.
Yes. So with your agreement, can I go ahead and seize it? OK, £12.55 for the seizure of the money.
It's not good news for the passenger.
I'm not satisfied what you've told me regarding the cash. OK, you're telling me it's come from a bank, but I don't know that.
It was withdrawn from Barclays Bank.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but listen to me. As a customs officer, okay, I can't always believe what people tell me. Otherwise, I wouldn't be a very good customs officer, would I?
Is there any other way you could prove it without...
I can't do it here this morning. I will be holding on to the money today. I will be seizing this cash, this £10,000. Yeah. You're not under arrest, and you're entitled to leave the UK and go on your holiday to Jamaica today, but you won't be taking the cash with you, okay? It doesn't mean that you won't be getting the cash back at some further stage. At the moment, I'll need to seize it for the purpose of the further investigation. Okay? Will you be travelling on the flight today? Okay. That's fine. He's going to travel, so he doesn't need to offload the bags. Yeah.
With just seconds to spare, the officers are now rushing to get the man on board.
12:55.
But with 10 grand at stake, he wants to make sure all the paperwork is correct.
Do you want to get your flight?
Yeah, but at the end of the day is...
You've got a few minutes before the gate closes, OK? This is the receipt for the seized cash. That means I am taking £10,000 from you today because I need further evidence from you to tell me where the cash has originated from and what the intended purpose is for. That's the reason I'm seizing the cash. OK, this is a receipt.
The flight is going in a couple of minutes.
Right, we signed it.
You really need to move.
Ask another question now, yeah? What is the difference now if I come through with 2 or 3 credit cards and still spend £10,000?
Yeah? Then you'd have been all right. A credit card has an audit trail. Cash doesn't. That's the problem.
Yeah, but then
if you want to catch your flight, you need to
yeah? Everything is just paperwork. I didn't know you have to carry so much paperwork just to go to the airport. I think you just need a passport and don't carry the contraband.
Sir, listen. If you want to make your flight, you have to go on now.
If you even miss that flight, yeah, I don't even care because the insurance company still have to pay back my money.
Thank you.
I'm a loss of time.
The passenger's not happy, but he's made the flight, and it gives the cash team time to ensure the money doesn't have any links to crime.
With cash, he came across as pretty upfront about it. He was carrying the money, but I'm not satisfied with what the end use of the cash is for. We're particularly with bringing, not saying this gentleman would be the case, but with drugs. Drugs are so much cheaper to buy quantity-wise in Jamaica, and you could buy a lot of drugs for £10,000. I'm not sure that this man is totally involved in that, but people do. And obviously, if we can take the cash out at the beginning and do further checks, more the better.
The man who was carrying £10,000 in cash returned to the UK 2 weeks later, but his money remains with the border officers and the investigation continues.